province governor makes penalty submission. Government welcomes Fiji's biosecurity team to the country. Remains of Bougainville crisis used as a product to attract tourists.
This is NBC Papua New Guinea National News.
Good evening, I'm Antonia Singut. Trade, Commerce and Industry Minister Richard MARU welcomed the Fijian biosecurity team to the country this morning. These include officials from Fiji's Ministry of Industry, Trade and Tourism, as well as officials from the Fiji Biosecurity Authority, who will be meeting with their PNG counterparts to resolve the current trade issue between the two countries. Minister MARU emphasised his hopes of resolving this issue as soon as possible in the Melanesian way and look forward to taking trade in the region to the next level. Jay Habakia reports.
The issue of trade imbalance between Fiji and Papua New Guinea has been an issue of debate for some time now, and according to Minister MARU, has been ongoing for over 10 years, with previous ministers trying but failing to come to an understanding with Fiji.
Over the last 10 years, ministers before me have tried their level best to negotiate and talk with Fiji to remove the ban on our oxen palm, our biscuits, our rice, a lot of our products that we are trying to export into the Fijian market. At the same time, over this period, because of the MSG trade agreement, Fiji has stepped up its export of their products to Papua New Guinea, Fiji water, island corned beef, other products into PNG. And as government, I think the time has come for us to question whether we should continue to allow Fiji to dominate our market in terms of our two-way trade, which now is in Fiji's favor, or is it time for PNG to say, no, Fiji, we will not allow you anymore to bring more products into our market unless you first accept our oxen palm, our biscuits, our canned tuna, and all these other products going into Fiji.
After constant communications with the Fijian Ministry of Industry, Trade and Tourism, along with the Fiji Biosecurity Authority, a delegation arrived in the country over the weekend and were officially welcomed by the PNG Trade Minister. The four-person team is led by the Trade Facilitation and Compliance Expert of the BAF, Ronald Prasad. Mr. MARU said all parties have been mandated to find a solution to this issue, and it must be solved soon to enable larger agreements such as the Melanesian Trade Agreement to flourish for the benefit of the two countries and the region.
We don't want this small impasse to be a blockage or a hindrance to the greater step we need to take as the MSG sub-regional trading bloc. So welcome again to PNG, to my team in PNG. Let's give them every support that's required. Let's work with them. I'm sure they've also come with a mandate to resolve this issue as soon as possible. We have the same mandate from our government. We want to resolve it in the Melanesian way, in the Melanesian spirit. Let's put that behind us, because we all have a lot to gain if we step up and sign a more comprehensive agreement between ourselves to take trade in our region up to the next level.
The Trade Minister said when Fiji says our products such as oxen palm are not healthy, it tends to give a bad impression on PNG's other customers. So it is imperative that this issue be solved once and for all. Jaheb Akia, NBC National News, Port Moresby.
Meanwhile, Minister Richard MARU also highlighted the fact that the bigger issue of concern is the Melanesian Trade Agreement number 3, which the government has been working on for the past 4 years. He pointed out that both countries cannot continue to let this little impasse hinder the development of larger agreements that will be beneficial to both parties and the wider region as well. Agencies that will participate in the 3 days of meetings include Minister MARU's Department, Department of Prime Minister and NEC, NACIA, the Department of Agriculture and Livestock, and the Health Department. Apart from their work here, Mr. MARU urged the delegates to enjoy themselves during their stay in the country.
There's no doubt the MSG trade agreement is the only agreement that's worked. Everything else we've done with Australia, New Zealand has never worked in the past. We don't have a story to tell except the MSG trade agreement, so we're very proud of this agreement and where it's going. And when we have small issues like this, it's better to come together and resolve it in this way. So I want to again thank the government of Fiji and thank all of you for making time to come. Apart from your work, I really hope you make new friends and enjoy your visit and have a good time and go back to Fiji with some great memories. Because we are determined to have more of your trade missions here, and we would like to come to the Bula country too and bring our goods and our products over to Fiji. And that's why this dialogue over the next 3 days is very important to us as well. And I want to assure you of every support of our government and our team. And we look forward to the positive conclusion of your work and the outcomes that we all desire. We want free trade in the islands and in the MSG area. Thank you. May God bless you.
From the 26th to the 30th of September, the Fijian biosecurity team will be visiting the Hugo Cannery, Paradise Foods Limited and Trukai Industries as part of their assessments. The amended Criminal Code Act of 2013 will be used for the first time in the case against convicted Western Province Governor Ati WOBIRO. Governor WOBIRO and 2 other convicted Western Province leaders made their penalty submissions at the National Court this afternoon. Maivola Fanama reports.
The amendments to Section 383 of the Criminal Code Act was passed by Parliament in 2013. Penalties against misappropriation is very serious, with a maximum of 50 years imprisonment without parole for amounts more than 10 million kina. The 3 convicted leaders, Governor WOBIRO, Norman May, and Dr. Modowa Gumoy, committed the offence in November and December 2013 when the law was in place. Therefore, the state wants it to be used. The court had found the 3 slightly misappropriating less than 10 million kina, a 7.5 million kina state funds. Lawyer representing the 3 state prisoners, Justin Wohinangu, asked the court to impose a penalty of 5 to 8 years for misappropriation and 2 years for conspiracy, all to be suspended. However, the state prosecutor, Anthony Koopman, asked the court to impose a penalty of 25 years for misappropriation and 4 years for conspiracy. The 3 leaders were given time to address the court on what type of penalty they would want to receive. Whilst they showed no remorse for their action, they want the court to consider their contribution to the community, among other reasons. Their lawyer urged the court to look at its own ruling as it didn't find anyone benefiting from the money. The state, however, argued their trust on the position they hold is important, therefore they should be sent to prison. A decision will be made on the 27th of October. Maivo Lafanama, NBC National News, Port Moresby.
Prime Minister Peter O'Neill has reaffirmed the importance of working with global partners to enhance healthcare delivery in the country. In the past week, the Prime Minister has met with senior representatives of the World Health Organization, health officials from the Chinese government, and in November will travel to Cuba to discuss options for bringing more doctors to the country. He said diseases do not observe borders and PNG must have an open policy to bring in expertise from around the world. Mr. O'Neill said expanding universal healthcare is a core policy of the government and they are working to increase the number of healthcare professionals that serve the people. A local tour operator in Bougainville is using the remains of the Bougainville crisis as a product to attract tourists to the region. Many people, even infants and relatives of former Bougainville Copper Limited staff, are returning to see where their family worked before the crisis. A singer-turned-operator of Bougainville Experience Tours, Bosco Miriona, says a change of heart and conviction to achieve can take people places, and it has done wonders for him and his Bougainville people. Bradley Gregory with this report.
Tourism is slowly but steadily making inroads on Bougainville, with small local companies struggling in the business circles. For former singer-turned-tour operator Bosco Miriona, he knows too well the challenges of operating a business in the region.
Me try best for me because Bougainville living come out of war. Na me try best for me how me plug na carimol tourist go to Bougainville.
Miriona's conviction to tap into tourism came as a result of a visit to Fiji. Since then, he's never looked back.
Me no school in tourism, but just from one manlo place that's all na me kirapim na me play running tourism lo Bougainville.
The tourism business on Bougainville is a hard fight, especially when the civil war left many people with different opinions of outside visitors. But this mindset is changing with people like Miriona bringing in tourism to Bougainville. He tells us the remains of the Bougainville crisis is a tourism product he's promoting.
Lo time lo BCL days, even got 3,000 employees long mine. So all this begini, all come back lo Bougainville, looking place where only been born long and only been was lo solwara. Now all looking one apple pap long only been walk long and. So these are the things that all man you go like come back now looking Bougainville, especially low side, low mine side. Maybe karimol line eco look long Panguna mine too.
Bradley Gregory, NBC National News, Port Moresby.
While Papua New Guinea is looking elsewhere to attract tourists, the Solomon Islanders are looking towards PNG as an emerging tourism market. That's the word from Solomon Islands Visitors Bureau Marketing Manager Frida Unusi. The Solomon Islands delegation is in PNG attending the Look in PNG Now Tourism Expo. PNG Tourism Promotion Authority says it's pleased with the support it's received since the start of the expo yesterday. Bradley Gregory with this report.
The International Convention Center in Waigani is the host venue for this year's Lukim PNG Now Tourism Expo. Outside its towering walls sit informal markets, housing artifacts, ornaments, and the various other fashionables. Inside, it's a makeup of 41 different stalls, displays of tourism stakeholders, the government bodies to the private small operators, and a number of big guns in PNG tourism. What's different about this year's event is that it's opened its doors to tour operators from around the globe.
So we've got agents from Australia, from Japan, China, North America, from Europe and from UK.
PNG's closest neighbor, Solomon Islands, have jumped at the opportunity. They are here displaying what their country has to offer.
And PNG is sometimes second to Australia, our main market, sometimes third. And so we thought, people are already coming to the Solomon Islands. We better go out there and see what we can offer.
The Solomon Islanders consider PNG as a tourism market they can tap into, something their local musicians have well and truly done.
Maybe we can capitalize on their fame and then work with them so that people can say, not as Shazi doesn't or design doesn't only come out to Papua New Guinea, but you can come and experience Shazi in the Solomons as well as other of our products. But that is one thing that we are going to really look at is the musical aspect of it.
The Look in PNG Now Tourism Expo coincides with the week-long Tourism Week celebration, which began on Wednesday last week and ends tomorrow. Bradley Gregory, NBC National News, Port Moresby.
Church is becoming an avenue people use to seek financial assistance. Chairman of the Association of Local Churches in Papua New Guinea, Pastor Yoselamba, challenged the church leaders and pastors in the country not to use God's name to make money. He highlighted this during the ALC PNG Annual National Conference today in Port Moresby. Jacqueline Yala reports.
Papua New Guinea is known as one of the Christian countries in the world, and different kinds of churches and ministries are popping up everywhere in the country. Whilst some of them preach the true gospel, others have been claimed to be scams like business organizations to make money. Even the church council of the country does not have much control over this. The idea of churches seeking financial assistance from political leaders and business organizations is becoming a concern among the leaders of churches. And one church has come out to speak against this ideology. It is the Association of Local Church in Papua New Guinea.
Papua New Guinea Church, we have to learn to believe in God. We have to trust God. Long all get away, you mean like extending God's kingdom. You mean no can come up as a beginning. We are a 47-year-old child awake. God bless you, this is a country. Planting gold is tough, oil is tough, gas is tough.
ALC PNG has challenged themselves not to seek funds even from their networks overseas.
Time you sign any partnership with any mission organizations or anybody, you may not something no kid and a toya. You may not baby anymore. You may not pig anymore. This church is a 47-year-old church. We're a grown-up church, a grown-up leadership. The national church is a strong black church. You may not have asking money in Finland, in Australia, in Sweden, in Canada, in anywhere.
They want to be self-reliant through faith. Jacqueline Yella, NBC National News, Port Moresby.
We now look at the weather preview with James.
Thank you, Antonia. Your weather in brief: Kokopo and Buka are expected to have thundery showers, whilst the rest of the centres have been forecasted to have fine weather conditions. I've got all your weather details coming up later in the news. Back to you, Antonia.
Thank you, James. Coming up after the break, Jiwaka Province eyes tourism as its export commodity, and Association of Local Church in PNG hosts 34th Annual National Conference. Stay with us on NBC National News.